Shopping for humans is hard. Shopping for your dog is easy thanks to Bark. Every month, we deliver toys and treats just for your dog. Whether it's fun plush or tough toys for heavy chewers, we spoil all the dogs. Subscribe now and get a free upgrade at barkbox.com/iHeart.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with Cheap Caribbean Vacations means you have more freedom to do your deal. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas and more, or simply soak up the sun and sand in a tropical paradise, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book the exact getaway you want at exactly the right price for you by using our exclusive budget Beach Finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package and do your deal at cheapcaribbean.com.
Episode 119, Frugal Travel with Danielle Desir.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Jill. Welcome.
Yes, you're mocking my
We're all
hand
welcoming
raising.
you on the YouTube channel. We're open arms. Welcome. Don't hug me though, but welcome.
Virtual hugs. Virtual hugs
That's
are
okay.
welcome. Yes.
Staying safe.
Yeah. So we are super excited to dive into a pretty most of our episodes are evergreen, meaning you can listen to them at any time. And this one is, but it's specifically for travel in this time that we're in right now.
Which is, what, July 2020?
Yeah, this kind of season that we're in. But it doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon, at least not in Florida. So it should be relevant for the next 5 years. We'll see. So we have brought in a frugal travel expert. Danielle Desir is from thoughtcard.com, and she is an author, a podcaster. She really has a wealth of knowledge, and this was such a good interview.
Mm-hmm. And stick it out till the end, the very, very end. Some of you may not even know that a lot of times after our episodes, we continue on with banter and more tips. And it's usually never tips, but this one does. Yeah, Danielle's got some awesome things about sharing podcasters that are women of color, and we can really just support and engage our entire community right now. So check it out. First, a word from our sponsors. The Frugal Friends Workbook. We are so excited to share this with you next week. We have designed this workbook to be 6 week-long challenges that will help you identify changes you can make to become more frugal long-term. You can definitely do them on your own, but the workbook is really designed to be done in pairs or small groups, which is what we love about it, because we do this in community. So don't worry if you don't have a friend to go through it with, because if you buy during launch week, we will have a way for you to connect with other people who've also bought the workbook, so you can set up some groups online, digitally. And so it launches August 7th. And if you want that buy now button in your inbox on launch day, go to frugalfriendspodcast.com/workbook.
Yes. So stoked. And today's episode is also brought to you by Browsing the Internet. You may not be able to take that international trip you are planning this summer or go to that conference that is your 1 week a year. You get to escape from your normal life and hang out with other people who understand you. But you can browse the internet and you can look at pictures of places you want to go. And you can maybe, write them down and maybe draft a budget and start saving for them. I don't know.
Like window shopping.
Yeah.
Just dream a little.
Yeah, pretend like you're going to check out and then don't. So whether it's a cruise or an all-inclusive resort or like Turks and Caicos, I don't know. Browsing the internet, it will suffice for now.
Good one.
Thank you.
Well, let's hear some tips from Danielle on how we can do this.
Yes.
Without just browsing the internet.
I know. Just to tell you a little bit more about her, Danielle is a powerhouse, and I say this a few times, but she is an author of multiple books. One is about Iceland. The second one is called Affording Travel. She has a new book coming out called Traveling with a Full-Time Job. She has a great blog, thoughtcard.com, and then her podcast also is all about getting financially stable to a point where you can afford travel and how to fit it in your budget and your schedule. So she's a straight expert. And so you might think that there's nothing else you can hear about, like do a spa day in your home as a staycation, but that's not what this episode is. You are really going to learn some unique things for frugal travel during the season. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Danielle. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me today.
So excited to have you on. Stoked about your blog and how beautiful and stunning it is. And excited to talk with you about how we can rethink travel today.
Yes. Especially in this area, because it would have been really easy for us to just do like a, travel tips episode. But like, this is such a weird time for travel, and you have to like really get creative. So we're excited to like have you on to tell us how we can do that.
Yes. Creativity is like my middle name. I love just finding new and creative ways to do things. And it's something that I'm also still trying to figure out. It's still super fresh. And I think all my strategies that I used to use before, I have to kind of like tweak it a bit and just really be conscious that there are lots of things that we have to be aware of.
I got to tell you, travel is something I do a lot, both personally and professionally. I get to travel with my work, which is awesome. But it's something I also just really enjoy. And COVID has really taken a toll on me in this department. I feel like throughout COVID, I had every week was like a new realization. And I think I would have previously thought of myself as pretty laid back, pretty low key, pretty go with the flow, like throw anything at me, like I got this. And COVID happened. And at first I was like, I'll be all right. This is fine. Like we'll be good. We can handle this. And I realized very quickly how high maintenance I am. I need a good deal of stimulation, like constantly. I need to be packing to go somewhere. I need to be working on a project. I need to be productive. I need to be purposeful. And specifically with travel, just the wind being knocked out of my sails, I really struggled. Like I don't want to go. I get it. Like I get it all. I'm just saying personally, like what? Yeah, I've just struggled. So anyhow, I am so excited to pick your brain because I feel like I'm still like raring to go.
Yeah, me too. It's been really hard. I've had to cancel quite a few trips. But I do have some solutions for you. There's been things that I've been doing that I've been having a lot of fun locally. So I'm looking forward to sharing that as well.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And hopefully we can also pick your brain on like how to, if people do have to cancel their trips, like things that they should do. But we will talk about that in a bit.
So Danielle, let's start close to home. For those who want to be able to take a break but can't or don't want to leave the house, what would be some recommendations that you have for some frugal staycations?
Yes. So I would say look at your local neighborhood, look at your local town. There are lots of opportunities for you to explore. And I actually was one of those people that was really paranoid before, like very early on, March, April, I was super paranoid. I didn't leave the house. I didn't do anything. Even going to the grocery store was like the biggest thing that I did. However, I made a pact with myself and I knew that I wanted to start exploring, like put my pinky toe out there. So what I've decided to do is every single weekend, I try to do one single activity that's close to home within like 20 or 30 minutes from my house. And I started off with going hiking. So there are lots of hiking trails. I live in Connecticut. So I've gone hiking one time. I've also gone to a local beach, but the beach isn't like a beach where you like sit down and lay out. It was more of like a boardwalk. So I did a boardwalk activity. I do a lot of walking and running at the park. So I do that on a weekly basis as well. These again are all free activities. activities. And it's only recently that I've said, okay, let me go to a brewery because I really love breweries. So I've gone to a brewery, and I also wanted to see what are the precautions that these, organizations and like all these like outlets are also having. So I was able to see how I feel in the comfort level with that. And then last week I went to a cidery as well. So I've been gradually like doing one thing a weekend. But I think one thing, I didn't also want to have my summer escape me at all. I didn't want to be always stuck inside the house. So with a full-time job, doing one thing every weekend at least made me feel like, okay, I'm still living a bit, even though I'm not necessarily traveling very far.
I like that guideline even of picking something.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be every single day. It doesn't have to be all weekend, but just a little something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially when you are more stuck at home maybe than other people too, to have that hard and fast, like I'm going to do one thing a week, because we can get like to an extent, like I feel like this has been going on forever, but then also there are some weeks that just seem to fly by because they all look the same. So having that activity on the schedule, whether it's like outside or even like inside. Like I saw a lot of articles were saying like have a spa day. And I probably would prefer to like walk or run. But having it on the schedule, even if it is at home, like not just assuming, yeah, like I bought this stuff, I'll get to it, but like scheduling it in.
It's funny. I've seen all these like billboards in the past of get outdoors and like really advertising. Come on, kids, go with your parents and be outside. And I feel like that is now society has shifted. I think it's a really amazing thing that has come out of this crisis experience as a nation and as a globe, that people are really taking advantage of their parks and being outdoors and being a bit more active.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would say that it's really important if you do want to spend time outdoors or doing an activity, you need to go prepared. So whenever we're stepping outside the house, we have extra pairs of latex gloves. We have hand sanitizers. We have hand wipes. We bring our own water bottles with us, our own snacks with us, our own mask with us. Like we are self-sufficient. So if anything happens, like we can take care of ourselves as much as possible. And Connecticut has been really great because now there's like, I don't know if it's a law, but I think most people are following it, that when you walk into an establishment, you wear a mask. And when I actually haven't sat down at a restaurant yet, but when I went to the breweries, you have to wear a mask when you enter the brewery. And when you sit down, you have an option to take it off. But the waiter or the bartender will always have their mask on. So at least one person is always protected. And that's like a hard and fast rule. So that I think is very important. And also I would say that it's going to take you longer. When I go out, I just expect that it might just take me a little bit longer because of social distancing, because of a little bit of lines or anything like that. So just not like if I have to be somewhere on time, just plan ahead of that because things might just happen and I just have to be a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, that's a great tip. And to be nice, because it's good to be nice to people because they were out of work for so long. And yeah, it's just going to take longer.
Everyone's still so hyper vigilant right now and just like recalculating to this new society. So like our stress levels are up and so our capacities are down. But if we can be aware of that and be so mindful of being kind to one another, yeah, it really helps. When you can't see a smile under the mask, make sure people know that there's a smile under the mask.
Smile with your eyes.
Yes. That's a thing. I think it's a real thing. You could definitely see. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm like extra like.
Really get that squint going.
Yeah. So that they know it's just right there.
Yes.
And then people think I'm weird and walk away from me, which they probably should do.
Yeah. It's a win-win, I think.
I never really did care for hugging. So like, that's me living my best life now.
Oh, I miss a good hug. And now I will watch TV and see people hugging each other. And I'm like, oh, that'll never happen again.
They're so, they don't know what a good thing they have.
It's so funny because like my mom and I live like 3 minutes away by driving from each other. So we end up like stumbling on each other, like whenever we go to the parks, and I'm just like, oh, hey, you stranger. And then she always tries to hug me because it's just a natural instinct of whenever she sees me, it's like a natural, natural hug. So I have to always like tell her like, distance, please. I love you. But no,
I don't know where you've been. Yeah, I get that for sure. So how about local travel? So maybe we want like taking a day trip or something. How do you navigate that?
Yes. So I would say first look at destinations that I would usually say between 2 and 4 hours away. And everyone's going to be different. Like I'd rather spend less time getting there to spend more time while I'm at the destination. So I would rather spend 2 hours driving or 3 hours driving than spending like literally 4 or 5 hours. So I think figuring out your how far you want to travel to, and then thinking about what are the things that you actually enjoy. And this is where travel style is so important. Most people kind of just go with the flow. It's like, oh, this destination is popular for this, so I'm just going to go and do that. But I think during the pandemic, it's really thinking about what do I enjoy when I like to travel? And then based off of that, let me find destinations that cater to that and start mapping out what you want to do at those destinations. I think before COVID, we would just kind of show up at a place and be like, yeah, everything's open to us. However, I found that there's so many places now that require reservation 24, 48 hours ahead of time. So if you do want to travel, any travel that you do, just make sure that you map out where you want to go on their website and see if there are any regulations. What are the hours of operation? What are the mask requirements? And also, are there reservations? And I've seen actually places require you to put money down. So if you have to actually put a deposit now, so that to make sure that you are going to go. So I just think just really doing more research than we have in the past to make sure that when you step out the door, you're as prepared as possible and you know as much as possible so that you could, have a good time and not get turned away.
Yeah. And this is such a great opportunity to do that local travel, because sometimes when we don't want to do the local travel when we get the time to travel, and now we can't do the traveling we want. So this is like a great excuse to find those local destinations.
Yeah, or to find even stuff that might be a couple hours away, but are great options for social distancing. Like I know there's a drive-in movie theater about an hour away from us. And so that's something that we wouldn't normally do on a weekend because it's an hour away, but now it's something that we're checking out. So there's even, if you kind of just widen your radius a bit to see what is in the area that might be a little bit unique, but still kind of available to us right now.
No, I love that. That's And I would also say, like, make a dream list. Like, I would dream about Italy and Morocco and all those,
all these exotic places.
All these
and now
amazing.
We're like, what's in Connecticut?
Right.
What about Rhode Island? Ooh.
Cape Cod is on the list.
Right. Live free or die.
But people from other nations are so excited about those spots. So if we could get excited about our area, yeah.
Yes.
That'd be great.
So I would say, like, make a dream list of the places that you want to go. So I would love to go to Cape Cod. So it's on my list and it's only 3 hours away from my house. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. There's also, again, Rhode Island. So I just made a list of like 4 to 5 places I would like to visit from now until the fall to see if it's possible. And again, I try not to put too much pressure on myself because, again, I have to also see how things are moving. And I would also recommend to look at the tourism boards. That is a really great place, tourism boards of destinations, to see what are they facing with, or what they're dealing with, or what are the alerts that they have on their website. That will help you make a more informed decision to know if right now is a really good time. So for example, I wanted to go to Martha's Vineyard, and I was just looking at the website and I just emailed them. I'm like, hey, do you think, it was like in July or June or something like that. And I was like, hey, is now a good time, do you think? They're like, well, it's phase 1. We just started. And I was like, phase 1? I had to go research what phase 1 meant, right? So there are phases, and I think everyone needs to just be aware. So using the tourism boards as a resource to see what's open would be really helpful before you actually go.
Yeah. You don't
and
want
sometimes
to
your
get
state
there and
opens. and then it goes back.
Ooh.
So it goes to phase.
Hashtag Florida.
Phase everything. And then we're going, oh, that was a mistake. We have not flattened the curve yet.
Yes.
Danielle, what's your take maybe on road trips? Do you have any advice for safe and affordable road trips even?
I do think that road trips are a good option, but I would say the caveat is, do you feel comfortable with staying at a hotel right now? Or do you feel comfortable with staying at a Airbnb? So if it's a road trip where it's like a day trip, you're going to come back home, that's one thing. But if you're going to have to plan for accommodations, that is another thing. I am all for it. I am thinking of taking a road trip this summer to go to Cape Cod. But again, it's like 3 hours away. So I could come home if I want to, or I could stay there. But I do think that road trips are a really great opportunity for you to go out and explore further than you can if you just stayed in your local area.
And certainly if you're crossing state borders, that's a whole other thing to look into whether or not they're going to on either end, will they cause you to 14-day quarantine, either upon arrival or upon return? And maybe that's something that would be worth it to somebody, you know, if they're just going and they're going to see the outdoors and then they're going to come back and they're able to kind of do that for 14 days, but definitely know the full scope of what you're getting yourself into.
Yes, that brings me to a great point. So my fiance's job has a list of states, like more than 10 states, that if he goes there, he'll have to do a 14-day unpaid quarantine. So
unpaid
that's quarantine.
A whole other layer.
Yeah.
And he knows that rule. And for me, I don't think I have that rule, but maybe we should check. Like, just before you go and plan something in an out of state, make sure that if your job has any stipulations, that you're aware of them and the consequences. In New York City, I've been hearing that like people are tattletaling on folks. So just to be aware, aware. I'm not surprised though. But
what phone number can I call to complain? Yeah, that's a good phone number.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a great point. There are some states that your job may say, listen, you'll have to self-quarantine for X amount of days. And you don't want to be that person that doesn't report. And then now you're in trouble for any reason, especially with social media, they can just look you up or something like that. So these are all important things to look into before, again, you start spending money and really planning out this elaborate trip.
AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete without costs spiraling out of control? It's time to upgrade to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8 times the bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing. And of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber, 8x8, and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/strategic. That's oracle.com/strategic. oracle.com/strategic.
We know New Year's resolutions often don't stick. In fact, on average, they last around 30 days. So if saving money is on your 2024 resolution list, here's a foolproof way to stick to yours.
Switch your phone provider to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month.
For those of you paying close to $40 a month for just one phone line, this means a savings of $300 over the course of the year. We especially like Mint because all plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/frugal. That's mintmobile.com/frugal. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/frugal. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. And all of these things, though, this is just an overwhelming season of an opportunity to save money. Like, there's low-key things that we can do. We're not doing international travel. So, okay, then how do we pivot? And how do we be content with where we're at right now and save for when life might look a little bit different? Or what do we want to be spending that money on instead? Are there other goals that we can get after? I'm just like thinking, for myself, like what this time has meant that, it has definitely meant a scale back. There's creativity that we can be implementing, but there's also just the reality that there's a lot of limitations. And so, all right, what else can we be doing? And how can we have fun at home and enjoy like the simpler things in life?
Yes. One of the things that I've continued on is my travel fund. I still save for my travel fund every single pay period. So I'm looking at it recently. I'm like, whoa, I can actually afford a trip to Australia or somewhere like Tahiti or something crazy. Because again, I haven't been booking cheap flights. I haven't been going crazy like I usually do. So now this money has time to just sit. And I think after all this is done, I may have even more options because I've been saving for it this whole time.
Yeah. Yes. Or people are exploring even some low cost, but more long-term travel kind of solutions. I mean, it's almost like what we saw during the recession in 2008, where people were staying closer to home for different reasons at that point. But you're seeing an increase in purchases of campers and used boats and bicycles and some of these more just recreational items that you can find at a discount and at a deal, especially if you're buying them used. And then that can be something that you do every weekend. And then next year, every weekend in the summer or and even week. I don't know your life, but you could even get creative in the way that you vacation, and it might not be plane rides, but it could be some boat rides. If you find a boat for $2,000 or $3,000 and chip in with friends or family. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that RV lots have been like selling out like crazy. People just, I would love to have an RV because again, you can drive, you can also take your home with you. So you have all the things that you need. You don't need to rent a hotel or anything like that. So RVs have become extremely popular. I know a lot of people are doing camping now, something that I have actually never done before. But again, that is also a low cost option as well. So there are lots of opportunities for you to, I think the RV is a good investment. So it's not only for today, but also investing for the long term. And camping, I think, is also just like, if you can do that in a lot of different places around the States.
Yeah. Glamping is so much better.
I've never done. So I actually,
it is everything.
I tried to do glamping. There was a particular term for it. I can't remember it, but in the UK, you can actually glamp in an old church, like a very old. And I tried to do it, but it was too freaky. And then we just decided not to anymore. It was like a very small, like stone church and a cemetery of like five cemetery
It's all
plots.
fun and games until the sun sets. And then it's like, no way am I closing my eyes here.
That's like creepy camping.
Yeah. It was. I was all for it, but I don't think that my friends were. So it's called champing. Yes. The concept of camping in ancient churches. And it's champing.co. It's a whole thing. Champing. CHAMPING.
I learned something new. Danielle, that's my takeaway.
We tried. It was a little scary. It was a little too scary.
I'm processing it. Yeah. So are there any, so I had a question while you were talking. Is there any like sites or resources you go to like kind of find deals when you're looking for things to do, whether like on a day trip or road trip or something?
Yes. So I like to use Viator.com. Viator.com allows you to book tours and book all these like excursions on their site. But I use it as a way to figure out what are all the things to do in that area. And then I am a DIY traveler, so I just DIY as much as possible. So Viator is a really great resource for you to just see what are all the offers there. I also, in terms of deals, I really like travelzoo.com. So Travelzoo on every Wednesday, they actually have their top 20 deal, and they just curate deals for you. And I've actually last year I found a $300 deal to go to China. $300 for 10 days.
What?
Like it was a great deal. It was a great deal, but I think Travelzoo could be a really great place. I also like Gate One Travel. Gate One Travel is more of, I would say they package things together. So they have accommodations and airlines together.
They're often on Groupon.
Yes, exactly. Groupon's another one as well. I like TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is like very fundamental, like basic, but TripAdvisor is also really good to see like the top things to do at a destination. The thing that I actually use, and I don't think most people use it this way, but I use Pinterest as a search engine. So when I'm looking for things to do in a city, I'll just type in free things to do in Chicago, and then all the pins will come up based on it. I think Pinterest is more of like a search engine, not a social media platform. So that is where I usually look for things to do and activities, using those blogs on Pinterest.
Great tip. Never thought of that. Thanks, Danielle.
Yeah. We'll have all of those links in our show notes too, so that you can click and see them. But yeah, that's great. And Jill, you took one of those Groupon travel
I bought
trips.
a Gate One Travel through Groupon, and it was fantastic. I will say you were mostly paying. It was a great deal. However, I think there's a part of me that would have preferred to have booked my own flights. I don't know that I could have gotten it as cheap, but if I could have booked my own flights, I could have done like the layovers that I wanted to, or not gotten as like in the middle of the night kind of flights. But it was kind of this whole package deal where it was Paris and Barcelona and the hotel. So at the end of the day, it took a lot of the headache out, and it was very inexpensive, but some downsides.
Yes.
But doesn't even matter right now because we're not going anywhere.
Still good information
Other than in
to
our vehicles. If we live in our vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah. And so also that brings me back to we're not traveling for the rest of the year. So what if you did book something and now it's canceled, or you have to cancel it? Like, what do you do?
It's not canceled. It's kind of up to you on what to do.
What's happening? What do I do?
Yes. Okay. So you have to think about how comfortable are you feeling with traveling? Because there are people right now, I would call them early adopters, who are like traveling right now. So there are people who are traveling, but for the majority, I would say are not traveling. I actually was given the option. So we were supposed to go to Madrid in May. And American Airlines called me. Well, before I say that, I would say that the first thing I would say, when you're booking anything, book it on a credit card. Number one, you want the credit card company to be able to have your back if anything goes down and they're like not wanting to comply. You can just say, hey, I think this is like kind of fishy, and they'll look into it. So I like charging all of my big travel expenses on a credit card just in case. And sometimes the credit cards have perks, like I would say like baggage loss or some types of insurance as well. So every card is individual. So I would just double check when you're booking to make sure that what is the opportunities for you there. Now, in terms of my Madrid trip, American Airlines called me in May and they're like, hey, you have two options. You can get a full refund. I was like, wow, that's thank you. That's great. Or you can book another flight. However, the problem for me was that I had booked these tickets to Madrid for $250 a pop. So they could not guarantee me that I was going to find another flight for $250. Who knows when? So for me, I made a decision just to get their full refund because I knew that it's really hard to find such a great deal to go to Madrid, even from New York City. So I decided to get the full refund. Now, the problem again is that because it's back on my credit card, I couldn't just say, oh, let me get the cash. I can go shopping now or do something fun. I had to now ask them to send me a check. And there was more of like back and forth with them. So those are the things that I would think about. Number one, making sure that whatever card you charge, see if, you want to make sure that they have your back. If there's any fraudulent charges or anything like that, credit cards are really good for that. 2, think about, will you find this deal again? If you will find this deal again and they can guarantee that, then maybe rebook in the future. If they can't, just get your money back, if that's even a possibility. I know that a lot of airlines now are saying that you can cancel, no problem. Like there's no charge of like that $200 charge that they have. So before you book anything, really be vigilant in looking at the terms and conditions, because a lot of times these airline companies, they just want to take your money now and they're like, we'll worry about it later after they have your money in the bank. So that's important to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. Better to get your money back than try and store points with them if possible, because who knows what those points are going to be worth. Who knows if you're going to book between the time that they expire. And then you've got to remember, what airline did I even have those points with? So just get your money back.
I have a hotel that I'm going to need, that I booked with points, that I'm going to have to like get those points back. So I'm anticipating, but I know that I will book with that hotel line again. It's Hyatt. They have the best for points, best redemption values. And I know I will book with them again. Yeah. So I will just get the points in that case. Yeah.
And for those who don't do the whole credit card thing, it could be really worth considering insurance now in the future, now that we see how volatile it could be and how quickly things could shift. It could be worth springing for, a little bit more just to protect and cushion that larger investment.
Yeah. Some of the sites that I've been keeping an eye on are like the Points Guy. He does a really good roundup of just like letting you know travel news and things for you to be aware of. Thrifty Traveler Premium and Thrifty Traveler, they also have like great blog posts as well to keep you updated with what's going on, what airline has this policy. So just as always, like everything we're talking about, it's just really being intentional and knowing like what you're getting into before you commit and buy right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what else? You should know what you're getting yourself into before you commit.
But I do know, and I always commit.
The Bill of the Week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck Bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the Bill of the Week.
Danielle, every week we invite our guests and listeners to share with us their favorite bill. And I know you've been thinking about yours, and I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, so I would have 2. So my favorite bill that I let go of recently was Adobe Premiere Pro. So as a blogger and podcaster myself, I wanted to get all these tools and I'm like, I'm going to use this. It's going to be great. I bought it 3 years ago and just started producing videos yesterday. So I've been wasting so much money on tools that I don't even use. So that is a bill that I'm happy that's gone.
Yes.
However, I just got engaged during quarantine in March.
Congratulations!
Thank you. So my new bill that I love is saving for our backyard wedding. So that is the newest bill, and it's going slow but steady so far.
Oh, amazing. When are you getting married?
Well, we wanted to do it this summer and we're like, okay, forget that. So we're hoping for next, summer. But it's just so happens that I've been doing also home renovations. So I'm like, might as well have it in my house since I've been doing all these fancy renovations. So I'm looking forward to just having a very small, intimate thing.
Out hosting your own wedding. Oh, that is frugal.
Oh gosh.
In all the best ways.
Yes, so that you can have a fantastic honeymoon. Have you started thinking about that?
Yeah, I think we're either doing Turks and Caicos or Costa Rica. So one of the two. Very excited.
I so hope that's a possibility by next summer.
Me too. Me too.
Oh gosh. Okay, we're all just gonna throw salt over our shoulders, say a prayer, stay away from.
I'm praying.
In the meantime, I have like Costa Rica pictures and posters all over here, just giving me life. So that's how I'm living my travel life right now.
Scrolling the internet looking for pics.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what good motivation to just kind of like stay focused. You do have something to look forward to. Either way, you're going to be married. It sounds like that's going to be a good thing.
I'm excited. You guys should have seen it. It was literally
Jill's questioning it.
No, I don't want to make a statement like you're going to be married and that's so great because it isn't for everybody, but like it's probably like you're a dime piece, so I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
Sure, it's going to be great for you.
I've had friends. It's like really like he's going to propose to you during quarantine in your pajamas in your living room. Is that the kind of engagement you want? I was like, it was fine. It was actually really, it was sweet.
Intimate.
It was perfect. It was intimate. Yeah. I wish my nails were done. My nails weren't done. I literally had to like have nail polish remover before I sent all my friends pictures. So
yes, and you were already home, you could do it.
Right.
Oh my gosh, you could have just painted your one hand real quick.
Yes.
There's so many sweet things that have come out of this time. Like it's not all been good and sunshine and roses by any stretch, but there has been some kindnesses and silver lining and just like sweet things.
Yeah.
Sounds like that was one of them. Yeah.
If you have any sweet bills that you want to share with us, please visit frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill and leave us your bill, especially if that bill includes your engagement and your wedding.
Yeah.
So that Jill can maybe be encouraged.
Marriage is like a good thing for you.
Yeah. It's good for more people.
Yes. More people in love getting married. Great.
Hi, I'm Martine Hackett, and I'm hosting the second season of Untold Stories, Life with a Severe Autoimmune Condition, a production from Ruby Studio in partnership with Argenix. Sharing real stories of MG, CIDP, and other autoimmune conditions, we hope to share inspiration and educate the larger community about these severe and often overlooked conditions.
I can't fix this. I can't cure this. And, I'll take my treatment day by day, but I want to try to be engaged, be involved, or be as helpful as I feel I can with the limitations I have of working full time to children. So I participate in like market research to provide information to hopefully benefit others because it's a small margin of people that have the myasthenia, but then to get pregnant, it's an even more narrow margin. And you can't ever have too much information as an epidemiologist.
Yeah, exactly right.
Listen to Untold Stories, Life with a Severe Autoimmune Condition on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Shopping for humans is hard. Shopping for your dog is easy thanks to Bark. Every month, we deliver toys and treats just for your dog. They deserve to be spoiled anyway. At Bark, we send your dog a whole new collection of toys and treats made just for them every single month. Whether it's our fun plush toys from BarkBox or our ultra tough toys from Super Chewer, we give your dog exactly what they want. For a limited time, we'll double your first box for free. To get your free upgrade, go to barkbox.com/iHeart.
Now it's time for the lightning round. We just yell at people, Danielle, really. Yeah. Like
we
what we
built
the podcast on.
Yeah, and then we bring people in and we yell at them.
Yes, I love the energy. It's infectious. Great.
We definitely have that. Oh, you should have been here the last time that we did an interview together on somebody else's podcast, and I was out of control. We'll stop there.
Yeah.
So we wanted to go roundtable style and talk about our travel plans coming up, how we've had to alter them due to COVID and like what we're doing instead or to save on them, stuff like that. So we'll let our guest of honor go first. That's you, Danielle.
Me? Go now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm in charge.
It's not Jill.
I'm not the guest of honor. In case you didn't pick up on that. Not even a little bit.
So my next travel plans is to figure out how we're going to get to Cape Cod in August. Cape Cod is about 3 hours from home. I'm in charge of the planning process. So figuring out the hotel and if we're going to take our dog or not. So add Jada into the mix.
Mm-hmm. Jada.
Nice. Jada. Yes. Oh, what a sweet name. Just the one dog?
Just one right now.
Just one?
Just
That's
one.
it?
Yes.
Have you considered getting another dog and naming it Will?
I do not want to go into an entanglement. That's no entanglement here.
Oh, just you couldn't get a third dog.
Yes.
And
no.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't know what that joke was until last night.
There's a meme.
So
There's memes.
there is a meme,
Yes.
and I didn't get it until. So if you don't get it, just search. just Google it.
That's gonna be me. I'm gonna have to Google.
Yeah. Jill, you go.
Gosh, what do I talk about? Well, Eric and I are moving. People have heard about this for like so many episodes now. That's our next travel plans, is to load up all of our stuff in our travel trailer. And thankfully we're minimalists, so we don't even need to get people to come help us and deal with all of that. And like restrictions on how many people we can have helping us move. So it'll all go into a travel trailer that we have, just like a small thing that hooks to the back of our one car. Y'all, if you have been following this podcast, you know that I was trying to get Eric and I to go down to being like a one vehicle couple. And we did it.
You did it.
We did it. We only got one car. It's not going to last long, but for a time, we have one car.
Yes. Congratulations. That has been.
Thank you.
Yeah. A long
Marriage
time
has been
coming.
good for me lately.
Yeah.
So,
It's on the app.
So we're going to pack everything up and we're going to drive down, and then we're going to be in Florida, and then that's going to be our money, is like gutting a kitchen and creating our own Airbnb, and like that we will rent out for some income. And we're going to be in a vacation spot. So like our new home is right next to a park that's on the water. So I'm hoping to get some kayaks and just like really enjoy my new area that I'm in and be out on the water. So yeah, I think it's going to work out all right for me for right now.
You're traveling to a vacay spot. That's going to be your new home. That's awesome.
Yeah, the beaches might not be open, but yeah, I'm going to make the most of exploring my new area, because that's going to be enjoyable.
And Danielle, I will say, I read your article on things to do in like spring breaking in Tampa, which RIP, that was written for this year. But I was like sorely disappointed that St. Petersburg did not make it anywhere in that article. I was like, she doesn't even know.
I'm missing out.
You are missing out.
Oh, gosh. Yeah,
a beautiful place. And I encourage you to visit us.
But I will tell you that we were there around, this was just before the shutdowns happened. Like spring break was in Florida just before Florida shut down. And Jen, you and I tried to go to the beach, just have like a nice quiet. We went to this one beach. It was pumping. I have not seen the types of bathing suits these people were wearing. Like, I didn't even know that it existed. I was like, I'm seeing body parts I didn't even know about. Like, what? Yeah. What is happening? It was crazy insane. We got out of there quick because we have Jen's baby with us.
So many COVIDs. That's why.
I know. And then they shut down because of how hopping spring break was in St. Pete. So maybe it's good that it wasn't on your list, Danielle.
Maybe.
Anyhow, Jen, what about you?
So this was the year I wanted to take a cruise. Well, that's not going to happen. So actually, I don't think we're going to do anything. I was considering transferring my conference hotel points to an all-inclusive with Hyatt. But I think we'll probably skip it. It's also my husband and I's 5th anniversary this year. So I kind of want to do something overnight. I was going to miss it because I was going to be at a conference in California. But it doesn't seem that I will be there anymore. So I might do like a frugal road trip somewhere. I have to kind of make a dream list and see what Travis and I's dreams overlap, which when it comes to travel isn't often that they overlap, but my dreams usually win. So
I could see you both doing some sort of like camping thing. I could see Travis being super into that and you tagging along.
it's not on my dream list, Jill.
No, I'm sorry.
It's not
Try
on my dream
new
list.
things. You'll build a muscle.
I've tried it before.
Okay.
I tried it while pregnant. But being pregnant wasn't the issue.
Your fault. Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't even the issue. But that's for another time. So so that's kind of how I still have to make that call to see if I can transfer those points. So TBD on how that will go. I'll let everyone know. And if I don't, ask me about it in the Frugal Friends community. So yeah, I think we'll put off, and then I'm going to try. So I will say I am an early adopter of travel. We did fly in June to Nashville. Everyone had masks on. It seemed very safe. It has been a month since returning, and I have not had any illness. So knock on wood, I don't get it from walking outside. But and then we were also going to Disney at the end of the month. I've followed a lot of Disney bloggers and have been just keeping tabs on how social distancing is going in the parks. But we had a ticket that was supposed to expire in June, but now is good through the end of the year. So actually, no, it's good, I think, through September or October. So we already have the ticket that we have to use. So we're going to use it and see how that goes.
When did they open back up?
The 15th
They
of
just
July.
opened back up. Wow.
Yeah, so they were the last
or they're about to open.
theme park. Yeah, no, they just opened.
Yeah.
They were the last theme park to open, and they conveniently opened on the day Florida had over 15,000 new cases of coronavirus. So that was fun. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah. So enough.
That's the thing. Everything's shifting so quickly that it's just a matter of like keeping close tabs on everything, making informed decisions. And
And I also think that it's like for me and my partner, we're thinking like, okay, if things don't change next year this time, how are we going to feel? Like, are we going to still feel the same way, or are we going to want to do a little bit more venturing? So I think it's going to be like an ongoing conversation to just see how things develop and how far we want to go. But Disney was on our list. We go to Disney at least once a year. So we're very, very sad right now. We're very sad. No Epcot. So.
We're going to Hollywood Studios to see the Star Wars because we haven't seen that yet.
Yes.
So that one opened the 15th. The Magic Kingdom opened the 9th for pass holders. So we'll see how it goes. Actually, by the time this airs, we will have gone. So we'll see. Don't give me any one-star reviews. Yeah.
Or maybe you haven't gone. Don't say anything definitive. Oh, yeah. We don't know.
So true. Okay.
Things could change.
Anyways, Danielle, thank you so much for coming. Tell everyone where they can find you and all the amazing things you have going on.
Sure. So you can find me over at thoughtcard.com, which is my affordable travel and personal finance blog. I also have a podcast called the Thought Card Podcast. I am at the Thought Card on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I actually just finished writing my third book during the pandemic. It is called Traveling with a Full-Time Job, because that's always fun. And I just share lots of tips, and I interview tons of other avid travelers to share how they manage their time and also still find ways to excel in their careers.
Oh my gosh, yes. And you have your book that's your second book?
There's so many books. There's so many things.
The book you already have out is called Affordable Travel?
Affording Travel, yes.
Affording
Travel is my second book, and that shares step-by-step how to save for travel and make it a financial priority in your life. And my last book is an Iceland travel guide. So I've traveled to Iceland 3 times. I love it. And I share all the tips of how to really have an adventurous and affordable trip there.
So if you're into Iceland too.
Gosh, I want to get into it.
Yes. So thank you so much, Danielle, for coming on the show. And I really hope that everybody checks out your podcast and your books, because you are a fantastic writer and you have so much knowledge and wisdom on affordable travel. And there's not one person listening to this podcast that doesn't want that.
Yes. Yeah,
wisdom and affordable travel is kind of what I mean.
Thank you again. This was awesome.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you.
Wow, guys, what a great episode. Really hope you check out everything Danielle has to offer, because it's a ton of things. So like you're basically under a rock or like not on the internet if you can't find her and something that she has put out there and content that she's created. Thanks so much for listening. We want to thank you all for your kind reviews on iTunes and Stitcher, like this one. We'll just give you an example of a writing sample. It comes from Louis Div. I don't even know, actually. Louis
I give you the complicated names.
It says, can't get enough, happens to be 5 stars. I adore Frugal Friends. The format, delivery, and approachability of this podcast means I have enjoyed and learned from each episode. It's the perfect time for us all to reevaluate how we consume and live, and Frugal Friends is inspiring without being extremely preachy. I have gone from being a spender to enjoying mending and saving. I'm more content for it. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I love that you're mending things now.
I haven't even gone to mending.
No, not yet. You've had me mend your things though.
Yeah. Travis has had you mend
his things.
And he will have you mend more things, I'm sure, when you get down here.
Well, I'll have him build me some things too.
Yes. We also want to thank our friends who share these episodes on social media. So when you share the latest episode and tag us on Facebook or Instagram at Frugal Friends Podcast, we're going to add you to our monthly drawing. So normally for every 5 tags and reviews we get each month, we give away a $10 Amazon gift card. And this is actually the last day you have to enter a gift card drawing. So this is it. Next week, we're starting a new giveaway.
New month.
So you will, new month, you will have to tune in to see what it is. But this is it, guys. So if you wanted to enter, do it now.
So keep leaving us reviews on iTunes or Stitcher and send us the screenshot to frugalfriendspodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to tag us on social with our latest episode. And either way enters you into our drawing. Maybe you'll get that gift card.
Maybe.
Bye.
Bye.
Frugal Friends is produced, edited, and mixed by Eric Sirianni.
All right, Danielle, you were patiently sitting through.
No worries. I was like looking at the reviews and be like, oh, is she reading this one? I was trying to help you pronounce it.
Don't look at the latest one.
Don't even know.
That one was.
Well, you're a podcaster.
We know.
Can't do anything right.
Yeah.
And if you're a female, forget about it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like a scientifically proven thing that you will get hated on for your voice.
For sure. Yes. Definitely Valley Girl.
I mean, if you haven't, then I'm really impressed.
Yeah. You're better than us.
Already knew that.
Well, yeah. Fun fact, women host 22% of podcasts. So like 2 out of 10 are women. So
yeah.
I feel,
we need more. We need
totally
more female podcasters out there, because I'm sure a higher number of that listen to podcasts. I'm sure the listenership is way higher.
Oh, for sure.
So we need more of us.
But Danielle, you've also got something really cool going on that we want to make sure we talk about and get on the air is WOC, Women of Color Podcasting, almost like association. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So I created Women of Color Podcasters 2 years ago now, and it really started based off of a hashtag on Twitter. So the backstory is that Spotify had realized that 22% of podcasters are women, and they said that women of color host less than that. So there was not even a number. They just said host less than that, which is very sad.
They didn't even bother to count.
Didn't even bother. So they created an opportunity. They were looking for 10 aspiring women of color podcasters. They would fly out to New York City, and one person would win $10,000. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is me. I have an idea. I was inspired by Whitney Hanson's Money Nerds podcast. I was like, I want to have just like Whitney. I just want to be just like Whitney. So I applied, and that day they were supposed to announce it. We heard crickets, but I had seen so many women on Twitter talking about this opportunity, and I wanted to keep in touch with them. So I decided to create the Facebook group, which now has over 3,200 women from over 50 countries, which is so exciting. And fun fact, Spotify had 18,000 applications for that one US opportunity that was found through underground blogs. It wasn't even on their main website. It was like a friend of a friend told me about this, and they had 18,000, which still blows me away. And that's a number that I aim to shoot for. Like 18,000 2 years ago is what I'm trying to slowly thrive towards. But we've grown to include a blog, a job board. We have a paid membership as well now. And yeah, I think we're definitely seen as a staple in the podcasting community.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
So
well done.
First off, where can listeners go to find more, to find a listing of like all these podcasters?
Sure. So we actually don't have a directory right now, but what we do have a blog that has over 60 articles where you can hear from community members. All of our articles are written by our community members. So wcpodcasters.co will have lots of our voices, lots of our advice, lots of our tips. And a directory is definitely in the works. It's a big lift. It's a very big lift.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. That's
Do
awesome.
you have any in particular that you would recommend folks checking out?
Yes. Okay. So I have 3. And I think for me, I like podcasts that teach you things. And because I'm very entrepreneurial, I'm trying to be entrepreneurial. I love a Freelance Friday podcast by Latasha James. So she talks about freelance life, and she has her own agency, which is really great. I also love School of Ambition by DL Sharon. And she really teaches you how to take your coaching side hustle business to 6 figures, which I, of course, love to hear that. And
gotta love that.
Yes, gotta
more
love
travel.
That.
Yes,
exactly.
More backyard wedding.
More backyard wedding. Yes.
Have as many backyard weddings as you want
in a year
in case
period.
you need more than one.
Yes, exactly. And I would say the last one is called The Purpose of Money by Aquania Escarnet. And she's also in the FinCon community. And she talks about building wealth and really leaving a legacy behind for you and yours.
That's
amazing.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for sharing those.
Yeah. That'd be great. We have a lot of people interested in side hustling. So even if your side hustle seems more like a side gig, these freelancing and these entrepreneurial podcasts are so inspiring, and they bring on a lot of people that can just help you take it to the next level. So wcpodcasters.co, is that the website?
The blog.
Oh, she froze.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think we got a yes.
Oh, we did get a yes. Sorry,
okay.
You froze. Yeah. We'll have the link in the show notes. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. We have never had a guest on the after show. I don't think we've ever called it the after show.
No, it's so unofficial. And sometimes we don't even have it, but
most of the time we do.
Yeah. This one's
so
great.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. This is an honor.
Into something.
It's an hour. Yes.
With the best all-inclusive vacation deals to Mexico and the Caribbean, booking your getaway with Cheap Caribbean Vacations means you have more freedom to do your deal. Whether you want to enjoy snorkeling, endless margaritas, and more, or simply soak up the sun and sand in a tropical paradise, Cheap Caribbean Vacations has your deal for that. Plan and book the exact getaway you want at exactly the right price for you by using our exclusive Budget Beach Finder, or find a featured all-inclusive package to Paradisus by Malia Hotels, and do your deal at cheapcaribbean.com.
Bring home Napoleon.
Destiny has brought me here.
The action epic from acclaimed director Ridley Scott.
What is your name?
Napoleon. You are the greatest leader in the history of the world.
Witness the rise.
You are nothing without me.
Of the legend. Starring Academy Award winner Joaquin Phoenix and Vanessa Kirby.
I'm the first to admit when I make a mistake. I simply never do.
Napoleon. Buy or rent on digital now. Rated R.